Y'all see the title, man. Let's get to it.
So, our good friend Kendrick Perkins is back on the scene, and to kick off 2023 right, he's come out guns blazing with some horrendous takes. As recently, after the Lakers beat the Clippers in overtime for the first time since 2020, Perkins took that single victory as clear-cut proof as to why LeBron James actually is greater than Michael Jordan. And in Perkins' own words, he says this game is why LeBron James is the GOAT, because your GOAT wasn't doing this at 38 years of age. We've been searching and trying to find a person to take over the throne.
It's like every week or so, maybe less. There's always a horrendous take made by these pro LeBron James guys. You know, like there's always a horrendous Michael Jordan take they make. You say give it a week, it's gonna be another one. I'm telling you, bro.
This is the face of the league, and we can't put a finger on that yet. Look, the bar for Kendrick Perkins is extremely low. And for Perk, I expect nothing less. Now, first off, there's plenty of guys in the NBA who are quote-unquote faces of the league. From Giannis and Jokic, all the way to Tatum and Luka. I would say for the NBA media, though, the Lakers and LeBron James still are the center of the universe. Now, with that out of the way...
I ain't gonna lie, Lakers got a lot of fans, bro. Well, just a lot of people talk about the Lakers all the time. And that's just, the hype is crazy. The hype is crazy. Every year, we expect, well, some people expect them to do very well, you know. Despite what's going on, despite what's the challenge they may face, you know. Still expect them to do at least playoffs, even though sometimes they don't get there, you know. Got high hopes every time.
Take right here, very hypocritical. As a random win on a Tuesday, using that as proof LeBron James is the greatest. Where is that same energy when he loses in the playoffs? Because last year in the West Finals when he got swept, in embarrassing fashion mind you, these same people, these same analysts, said that loss didn't affect him or his overall legacy. It's almost like these people are massive hypocrites and have no standards. And the narrative ESPN is pushing heavily for really the past 4 years, and Perkins especially, is that Michael Jordan compared to LeBron James at 36, 37, 38 wasn't what LeBron James did at that same age. At this point, it's pretty exhausting and downright desperate. Because the overall crux of this argument is looking at LeBron and Jordan really past their prime in their late 30s. And I do find it funny. These same LeBron fans, ESPN talking heads, they will never debate LeBron versus Jordan at their peak. That means late 20s, early 30s. Put that LeBron versus that Jordan, they never debate that. What they love, though, and can't get enough of, is Willis Jordan versus Lakers LeBron. And look, when it comes to Jordan...
But that's really because they LeBron fans like myself, we know that LeBron has a chance of winning that. You know, we know LeBron has a chance of winning that. He should win that. You know, that's really we try to give Bron some leeway. You know, man, that's all that is. That's all that is. That's the only thing we can give Bron. You know what I'm saying? LeBron was fake tough at the end, though. You know, at the end of this joy, he was fake. You know, unmatched. But yeah, man, that's real.
LeBron James, I think it's pretty settled at this point.
Credit.
Jordan in his prime accomplished much more and peaked slightly higher. As looking at 91 Jordan, debatably the best version of Jordan. That year, he averaged 31.1 points, 8.4 assists, 6.4 boards, 2 steals and a block on 52-39.
That's tough. That's D&D what Bron be averaging, you know? Just take away a little bit of assists and add just a tad bit of rebounds, you know?
And 85 splits. And his Bulls team in the playoffs went 15-1 with MJ, won the MVP, being first team all defense and a leading scorer for the postseason. In terms of overall dominance, all-around play, scoring, facilitating efficiency, it's all right there in 1991. Even looking at 92 Jordan the very next year, debatably, he got even better. Again, winning MVP, being first team all defense, third defensive player of the year, averaged 34.5 points per game, 6.2 boards, 5.8 assists on nearly 50-40-90 splits. The day Kendrick Perkins at ESPN acknowledges these facts is the day hell will freeze over. And look, I'll give them this. LeBron at 38, yes, is better than Jordan at 38. Is the gap as big as they think it is?
Nah.
No, not even.
No. It definitely isn't. That's what they were to say. Wizards Jordan was still lethal. You understand? We reacted to some videos, reacted to some games as well. Back in the day, probably like a few months ago. We was watching Jordan go crazy. And we seen in one of the videos how he was averaging damn near 25 in a slow-paced era. He was averaging damn near like 33% of his team's points before the knee injury, then towards meniscus. Got fucked up. Shit like that.
Being close. But yes, LeBron.
And that's another thing. With the points argument, Jordan probably accounted for more of his team's points, like in percentage-wise. If you look at before the injury, I'm telling you, bro.
38 was the better player. Now, with that in mind, compare age 26 Jordan, age 30 Jordan, even age 33 Jordan to LeBron James. Go prime for prime.
Facts. If you go throughout all the years, Jordan gonna come out with more than LeBron. Basically, what he's saying. You know what I'm saying?
Not post prime versus post prime. And again, looking at Wizards Jordan, before his injury, he wasn't some bum just kind of waltzing his way through the NBA. He was pretty much dominating at an all-star level. And compared to some guys like Vince Carter, Antoine Walker, he was on their tier. And historically speaking, age 38 Jordan, at worst, a top 5 player at that age, up there with Kareem and Karl Malone as great players past their prime. And look, when it comes to Kendrick Perkins, I was a little bit curious. Does his love of longevity apply to his whole top 10 all-time players list? And of course, as you could have guessed, it doesn't. Because Perkins, of course, has 0 standards. And the overall longevity argument only applies to LeBron versus Jordan. As looking at his list, he had Larry Bird 5th all-time despite only 12 healthy seasons. And Magic Johnson ranked 4th all-time despite being done at age 32. Now, why that's important is Kobe and Duncan are a few spots behind them despite having much better longevity, Kobe playing 20 years, and Tim Duncan at 38 winning a championship and making the all-defensive team. If you think LeBron's better than Jordan, go ahead, have at it. I heavily disagree, but that's your opinion. My problem with these guys, though, the longevity stuff doesn't apply every player in NBA history. It's only LeBron versus Jordan.
Facts, they very inconsistent with that. As you can see by my boy, whatever list that was.
And like I said with Perkins earlier, he's pushed this narrative for close to 5 years. And back in 2020, he falsely claimed Michael Jordan, age 35, was, quote, not competing for championships. Well, half true, half false, because one, Jordan wasn't just competing for championships, he was actually winning them in the process, carrying his Bulls team. As looking at 98 MJ,
I thought he was going to say Jordan was 35, what's it called, for only half the season or some shit like that.
First team all defense at age 35, mind you, averaged 32.4 points a game, most in the playoffs, 5.1 boards, nearly 4 assists, 2 steals on 46% shooting. So I guess you could say Michael Jordan at age 35, really past his prime, was still highly effective. And look, in the last 8 years of LeBron James, he's only won 1 championship, that being in 2020, under some very odd circumstances, I'll put it nicely. If you compare LeBron's last championship versus Jordan's last championship, those guys' teammate help is drastically different. As on Jordan's Bulls, leading the oldest team in the NBA, Scottie Pippen, had a bad back shooting 41%. Tony Kukoc averaged 13 a game with a defensive liability. And guys like Luke Longley...
That's definitely a tougher championship for the Bulls. I got my own opinions when it comes to the team aspect because I feel like having a the right players. You know, having the people that know their role, people that's willing to do the dirty work like Dennis, people that's willing to just spot up and hit that motherfucker like Kurt. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. People that's willing to play D like Ron. You feel me? I feel like that's better than having a bunch of superstars on one team. Because a lot of times that shit not going to work. Having a bunch of superstars on one team. 'Cause a lot of times these superstars nowadays need the rock in their hands, all of them. Yeah. Except for a select few that can play both the ball very well. Curry, Jokic, you know, just name a few. Yeah, bro. I feel like with the team aspect, it's better to have a well-fitted team than a well-overpowered team. You understand? That's how I feel. Yeah.
Harper was third and fourth options on offense. And looking at Dennis Rodman, he was in his late 30s over the hill and benched past the East Finals. Compare that to the 2020.
Oh, my fault. I forgot to finish my point about how that was a tough championship. Now, that definitely was a tough championship, though, because that was their third, you know. Technically they're sixth. But, you know, you understand, that's the three-peat. They coming for your heads. They're not trying to let you know that. You understand? And they older. This is before the technology. They older. You know what I'm saying? They probably the oldest. They the oldest team. They was the oldest team in the league. I heard that many times. Come on, bro. That was a very impressive championship.
Who were in the bubble.
Yeah,
Anthony
AD
Davis
was going crazy.
Was a leading scorer of
AD
that team.
Did AD win Finals MVP? I think he did.
Best defender. And depth-wise, they had KCP, Rondo, Danny Green, and even Kyle Kuzma. And in comparing Jordan versus LeBron from age 35 to 39, their overall accolades and accomplishments really aren't that different.
Facts.
Both won one championship. Of course, Jordan's was harder. One Finals MVP. Jordan's was more iconic. Michael Jordan was first team all-defense. LeBron was 0 times. And Jordan, of course, had one scoring title. I mean, in terms of tangible accomplishments, it's really not that different. And if you look at the stats, like Kendrick Perkins said, LeBron at age 38 was much better than Jordan, and Michael Jordan couldn't have done this. Now, what Perkins was talking about was overall scoring, as versus the Clippers' LeBron had 35 points. But looking at the actual numbers, Michael Jordan at 38 plus had 7 games of 40 plus points and 1 game cracking 50. LeBron at this point, since turning 38, scored 40 plus points 5 times and not once cracked 50. And to add some very important context, back in 02-03 for Jordan, teams weren't scoring 120 points, 130 points.
I was talking about that. That's a slow-paced era.
115, which in today's league is commonplace. Jordan cracking 40 points at that age, I would say is much more impressive than doing that in today's league.
Facts.
And the fact Jordan at age 38 had more 40-point games, 50-point games than LeBron James, again shows Wizards MJ wasn't as bad as you think. Facts. And if you put him in today's NBA at this pace, the spacing, the overall high-powered offenses, I think 38-year-old Jordan healthy is 25, 27 points pretty easily. As even back in 03, when healthy, he was averaging 24.6 points per game.
Told you.
So that right there is the end of the video.
That's a bucket. Like, that's a bucket.
Game.
That's a bucket. That's I got every move in the book. I'm a guard. I'm about to hit you with this post hook or this running hook.
That right there is the end of the video.
Butter. That was crazy. That's not easy to do, you know, to get that type of touch and that type of, you know, that type of touch with your non-dominant hand is very hard to do. It takes a lot of reps. You understand? I'm telling you that right there.
Has no standard or consistency. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
That's the end of this joint, though, bro. I know what to do. Click on the last joint. Like the video, comment, subscribe. I'm out of here, man. Turn on post notifications too, man.